Basketball fans, welcome back. So the Phoenix Suns are in the worst situation ever in the NBA. And in this video, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to mention also Bradley Beal. So Bradley Beal got that 5-year, $250 million contract, that max contract extension from the Washington Wizards. And unfortunately, the Wizards gave him a no-trade clause. So what a no-trade clause means is the star player, in this case Bradley Beal, cannot be traded by a team until he allows and he okays the trade. And these no trade clauses are given to a very small percentage of players, especially players who play, the players who are the top elite players. And they're not just given, the no trade clauses are not just given away in every single max deal. Because had Luka Doncic had a no trade clause, the Dallas Mavericks would not have traded him the way they traded him to the Lakers. So Bradley Beal, he got that no trade clause, and Bradley Beal is smiling every day about his no trade clause, and he feels disrespected by the Phoenix Suns. So Bradley Beal, he loves his no trade clause amidst a disastrous season by the Phoenix Suns, and it's so sad because the Suns made a mistake of signing Bradley Beal, and when they signed Bradley Beal, they wanted to make a big three of Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. And they quickly realized that, with Bradley Beal's contract, he's taking so much cap space. Those three guys are on max deals. So KD, he's on that max deal he signed when he was in the Brooklyn Nets. Bradley Beal is on that max deal. And also Devin Booker is on that max extension that he signed before these two guys even came to the team. So it's very unfortunate because the Phoenix Suns will look to free up some cap. And unfortunately, they just cannot trade away Bradley Beal until he okays the trade. That's the reason as to why the Wizards and the Suns were able to trade for him, because when the Wizards traded away Bradley Beal to the Phoenix Suns, Bradley Beal okayed that trade. So he had to be told that the Wizards front office came to him and said, we are trading you, and this is the place where you're gonna go. So are you okay with it? So when he said yes, that's when the trade went through. So right now the Suns cannot even trade him. So Bradley Beal, who's 31, and he spent majority of his career in the Wizards, where he played there, he averaged 22 points, 4 boards, and 3 assists per game on 46% shooting. This is a man that is used to playing in the worst and the poorest, competition. And he's not a person who can be able to lift your, organization to wins, because if you could be able to translate the garbage time, statistics from the Wizards to the Suns will not have been swept last year in the postseason. And right now, as we speak, they are on the verge of even missing the play-in tournament because they sit at the 11th seed. So things are not looking good. And when you look at even the thought process that came into Marish Bia's mind when he decided to go ahead and trade for Bradley Beal is somebody who is looking towards being on that category of being an overpaid player, and the Suns are desperate to move this guy. And Bradley Beal, what he didn't agree on was just saying that he's gonna waive his no trade clause. So in the 2024-2025 campaign, with almost 33 minutes per game, Bradley Beal is at the lowest average playing time since his 2015-2016 season, where he was 22 years old. So he was also removed in the starting lineup at some point and relegated to the bench in favor of Tyus Jones. So this was only temporary because, the Suns are trying to limit his productivity so that they can be able to frustrate him to the point where he can just void his no trade clause so that they can trade him. So Bradley Beal, he looked at it. The Suns are trying to disrespect him, low-key disrespect him. He's refusing to waive his no trade clause so that he can get traded, because the moment he just does that, the Suns are picking up calls all over the league to look for potential trade partners to be able to get rid of this guy. But because he's there, he can't be, he has all the cards, so the man cannot get traded anywhere. So this is what is setting the Suns back. And Bradley Beal, he came to the Phoenix Suns. We thought that, that big three is going to win the champ. They're going to go ahead and win the championship. And with those three guys, Beal, Booker, and KD, they were still not able to even win a game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they got swept. So it is embarrassing, honestly. And to make matters worse, you can see the trade assets that were given up so they can be able to get a guy like Bradley Beal. So things are not looking good at all, and I don't even think they can be able to sniff even a conference finals appearance, even a semis. And Bradley Beal, he's in an odd and weird spot right now because on one hand, the Suns can't trade him without his approval, and that means he has until the end of his contract, which is in the 2026-2027 season, to try and make it work. But on the other hand, he's set to spend the rest of his prime years on a dysfunctional team that desperately needs a reset. So honestly, do you feel bad for Bradley Beal? Because at some point when he signed that contract extension with the Wizards, he got he was averaging the most points. At some point he averaged like 30 points per game, but he was on a losing streak. I even saw hashtags of people saying free Beal, free Beal. So when people said free Bradley Beal, and he signed, he wanted to continue earning that money, and he said he's not going to walk away from that money. So he was willing to play in a dysfunctional franchise in the Wizards, a poorly run organization, and waste his prime years there, and even don't care about contention. But he's have people pushing that hashtag. But even if you look at this situation with the Phoenix Suns, the Suns are desperately in need for a reset. And when they look at the contract that came into their books with that trade for Bradley Beal, they do not like it. It doesn't even add to their chances to be able to retool, because if this squad stays put and they're not able to move Bradley Beal, if he doesn't waive his no trade clause, that will mean that they will be running it back the same way that they ran it back. They will not be able to sign any quality role players. They won't be able to sign anyone. And looking at how the financial, even with the uptick of the cap, even if the cap is increased, the cap space is increased, they will not be able to sign anyone. They will only be able to utilize like mid-level exceptions. So that's like vet minimum contracts, just fill out the roster. And all that money being committed to those three guys in the big three in an era where the basketball is ever changing, it becomes very difficult to be able to compete. Looking at how the West is stacked, it gets difficult. So right now, that no trade clause may be the only thing keeping Bradley Beal in Phoenix, but it's the only thing that also is tying down the Phoenix Suns in their current state. And had the Phoenix Suns and Matt Ishbia looked at that contract for Bradley Beal and he signed with the Wizards closely, they will have told him, if we're gonna trade for you, you have to void that no trade clause. But unfortunately, because they're looking at the stars, they didn't even care. And that's what I'm saying. Like, some organizations just don't, some organizations don't even put fail proof. They don't make sure to stupid proof their contracts, because if the Suns were desperate enough to get Bradley Beal, that means no team is going to be able to go ahead and throw their hat in there, because any team that's going to trade for Bradley Beal will know that this guy is going to ride out his contract. He's not going to void that no trade clause. And had the Suns known this, they have said, if you're going to trade for you, they will have told the Wizards, if you're going to trade for you, make sure you void that no trade clause. But they didn't. So, well, it's unfortunate. So you tell me what you think about this in the comment section down below. I mean, this is a very pathetic situation, and the people I feel for is the Phoenix Suns management. But anyway, they brought this on themselves. They should have known better than trade for an aging star player who can't even produce anything for you. And when you try to frustrate him, just know that when Bradley Beal sits on the bench and he's not playing, and he's paid all that money to play that position, he's not playing, it is hurting the team indirectly, because when you look at the bench, you'll not see anyone who is going to fit in that role. I know they're trying to put in Tyus Jones there, but it's still not going to work. So the Suns shot themselves in the foot, and they have themselves to blame. So yeah, man, do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below what you think about this. This is a crazy situation. I don't like it at all. And it's the real reason as to why the Phoenix Suns are not able to, go ahead, even fill up the roster with quality players. So yeah, man, I'm out. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.